A woman listener called in a minute ago and dictated her question. She wants to honor her husband and knows that he is the head of the house, knows that she's called to submit to him, but what should she do if he's not handling the financial responsibilities, paying the bills, etc., in a timely fashion, and things are being allowed to fall through the cracks?
Well, let me just pause, and you should have a good heart-to-heart conversation with him to start, at a good time, not when there's a conflict going on, but just to let him know that, you've got something that you'd like to sit down and really discuss with him. And again, I don't think most men would want to fall behind in their, basic responsibilities. Oh, the rent wasn't paid, or we're 2 months behind, and just because of mismanagement. And so you're his helpmate. And so you want to come alongside and be a helper to him. And it might be as simple as taking a course like the Theology of Money that I offer, where I go through virtually everything that God says in the Bible on the subject of money. We start with stewardship. And that's the critical place to start, because your husband, especially as the head of the home, is someday going to, I'm assuming he's born again, he's going to be at the judgment of the just, the judgment seat of Christ. It's the judgment every Christian faces, not to see if we go to heaven, but how we will be rewarded as saved people. And one aspect of stewardship is money. In fact, half of Christ's parables deal with the subject of money. So this is an important subject. And so we deal with stewardship, we deal with giving, we deal with debt, we deal with investing, we deal with budgeting, just the basic nuts and bolts of what God says about money. And I would highly encourage you maybe to take that course together. And if you're local, we have volunteers in our church that, assuming someone has taken the course, we will set you up with a financial counselor at no charge to you. But if you come and you haven't taken the course and gone through the final applicational step where you've at least attempted to make a budget, and a lot of people don't know how to make a budget, but again, we help you with that. Then we'll sit down with a financial counselor. And again, some guys, they just didn't get this growing up. There are some expenses, for instance, that come once a year, that come twice a year, that come quarterly. And they think, we got a little extra money this week. Well, actually, you don't, because if you're on a budget, you'd want to be putting aside for that annual, tax bill that comes if you're a homeowner, or maybe the biannual insurance that's due every 6 months, or whatever it might be. And so a budget really helps you to plan, and it might be that as his wife, you could help him with the mechanics. Ultimately, he needs to be over it. But you might be able to help him with the mechanics in light of his time in the management of that. But he needs to be the head of it. So listen, sit down with him, talk to him, express your concerns. Ask him, honey, do you like it that we had trouble paying the electric bill and they almost turned off our power line? No, I don't like that. Well, if we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and we expect things to change, it's probably not going to happen. So what change can we enter here into the equation? And you sit down and you talk it through. Don't make it a battle or a fight, but let him know that you're his helpmate. And then if he refuses to listen, then you have to let him fall on his face. And sometimes it's not until a guy falls on his face that he says, my wife warned me about this, and she really is my helpmate. And that's what you need to echo when you sit down. God gave me to you to be your helper. And, I have insights that you need because I'm your helper. And to let him know that you respect his authority, but that you want to come alongside and help. And sometimes when a guy does fall flat on his face, he says, my wife warned me, and then he'll come back with a little bit more humility. So that's where I would start.
Dr. Carl Broggi answers your questions about the Bible and living the Christian life Tuesday mornings at 11 on The Light, 88.7 FM, and online around the world at wagp.net.